What's up, morons? This, of course, is Moron Money, where we give you all the latest crypto and stock market news. I am Blind Mike, and I'm not giving you any financial advice. That would be utterly ridiculous if you listen to a dummy like me for what you should do with your money. You should always do your own research, and this is kind of just a springboard to doing that research. So we try to give you information. You go out in the world and see what you think about it. If you would mind helping the channel, then you can subscribe, tap the notification bell, hit the like button, comment. All of that helps the YouTube algorithm. And you can check out patreon.com/blindmike, where I do the Blind Mike Project, as well as 2 additional Moron Monies every week. So if you like what you do, check out the Patreon as well. Tiers start as low as $1 a month. So check all of that out as we sit here on the last trading day for the stock market of May. And if you get bored over your holiday weekend, don't forget the crypto market never sleeps. So that can also be dangerous, especially in a holiday weekend where you're doing a little boozing. You might say, oh, geez, Cardano's down a little bit. Let me dip my toe in. Always invest responsibly, I say. But the markets are, stock market is up. Stock market is having a great week this week. Which is odd because we're all kind of anticipating the crash still. That still looms over us. And, I don't think this week is any better. The reason the stock market is in the green and surprisingly, crypto is not, I don't know why, despite the fact that Joe Biden is saying that we are going to have a $6 trillion federal budget now, the most it's been since World War II. So that's very exciting. A lot of money to spend. And where do we get that money? We just create it. We just keep printing it. So you would think that would be good news for crypto. Bitcoin did go up to $40,000 yesterday before coming back down to 35. Now we've kind of been fluctuating between 35 and 40, testing that resistance. So we'll see where it goes this weekend. But if we're talking long term, people get very worried about what the price is today. If we're talking long term, a $6 trillion budget, meaning more money being printed, is great news for crypto. It's honestly good news for all assets, which is why you see the stock market up as well. Because, and I speak in very layman's terms, because I'm an idiot, but also because I assume that anyone watching this is pretty new to investing. So I apologize if I'm dumbing it down too much. Let me know in the comments if I'm dumbing it down too much. But basically, what a $6 trillion budget means, it's another sign of inflation, which means your dollars are going to be worth less. So you want to put them in gold, crypto, stocks, any assets that won't depreciate with inflation. So that's the logic behind that. I don't know why crypto is back down. There doesn't seem to be any news, which is always a good sign. The worst time to panic is when markets are down for no reason. If there's some serious, if it comes out that the Bitcoin network has been hacked, then you should panic. That's horrible news. But when you just see markets dipping, and I was like this when I started, where I'd panic and be like, well, I'll surely never make my money back now. That doesn't happen, really. It's in the stock market. I don't think we've seen that for a period of years, in 70 years or something like that. We haven't seen that long of a down period in the stock market. So never panic when you see these numbers go down. In fact, you should be anticipating a stock market crash because of this inflation, I believe. But the only other news in the Bitcoin world would be that billionaire Carl Icahn has said that he may put as much as $1.5 billion into crypto. So he himself, one individual billionaire, may put as much into cryptocurrency as Tesla did as a whole, as far as we know. So we keep hearing more billionaires, more institutions, and the more we hear that. In fact, I talked yesterday on Patreon about how Apple is accepting or has a job opening for a crypto executive, and people are speculating that either Apple Pay will start accepting crypto, or the App Store, or something like that, or possibly that Apple itself is getting into crypto and putting maybe Bitcoin on their balance sheet. We will probably find stuff like that out at the next quarterly earnings. But it's logical to think that with this dip, when it got down to $30,000, it just makes sense to think that that's when a lot of institutions were buying in. In fact, it would make a lot of sense if institutions were manipulating the market so that they could do that. But we shall see. It'll be interesting to see where the price goes this weekend. I do think we're kind of coiling up, and there will be another explosion sometime in June. But it remains to be seen. Right now, I am holding off. I'm not buying anything, stocks or crypto. I'm just waiting to see where the market goes. I'm pretty satisfied where I'm at with everything. So there's nothing I really need to get in on until I have a better idea of where the markets are going. I've mentioned this a couple times over the last week or so, but what I would have my eye on and what I did buy earlier in the week, Chainlink was way down and they've rebounded. They went all the way down to $16. But Chainlink still may be a good buy. Litecoin, XRP back under $1, back under 90 cents, actually, I think I saw before recording this. And I mean, my favorite is Cardano. That's probably my favorite altcoin. I do have some Ethereum as well, but I like Cardano a lot. Charles Hoskinson is a guy I believe in. And it seems like finally we will stop hearing that Cardano is going to have start adding smart contracts. And it seems like that will be happening very soon. Charles Hoskinson keeps teasing us, but we keep getting news that Cardano will be adding smart contracts. Now we've got the Alonzo upgrade. It's always a name that I don't understand where it comes from. But that's apparently when Cardano will be adding smart contracts. A lot of people predicting a big summer for Cardano. Again, the only reason I wasn't buying Cardano during this recent dip is because I got in at a pretty low number. I got in around 30 cents. I even started eyeballing it around 12 cents, and I didn't buy stupidly. Luckily, I got in around 30. So I'm comfortable now, but I still think $1.50 where it's at now will end up being a pretty good value for Cardano. A lot of people predicting $10 by the end of this bull run, which would be wild, but we shall see. The other thing I talked about this week on Patreon was Elon Musk, because he's dictated the price of cryptocurrencies so dramatically. Well, it seems like he's back on the Bitcoin train. He's giving mixed signals and all that. But what I talked about this week was he's throwing out there that he wants some sort of Bitcoin committee, which, I mean, of course, who better to run that than billionaires? So there's a reason this is very dangerous. And again, maybe I'm dumbing it down a little too much. Maybe you guys already understand this. But the idea of decentralization is that there are people all over the world that essentially have to vote on upgrades and changes to the Bitcoin network. So, when they want to implement the Lightning Network or what was the Taproot that we just had, things like that, miners all around the world, not just around the country, all around the world have to agree on that stuff. So what Elon Musk evidently wants is just a board, a board of directors, if you will, where it's Elon Musk and Michael Saylor and maybe 5 or 6 other billionaires that decide what happens with Bitcoin, centralizing it. So that would pretty much take away the entire value of Bitcoin, in my opinion. It would still have its scarcity, but the centralization, I think, plays a huge part in the appeal to Bitcoin and the fact that governments can't control it. So Elon Musk basically wants not necessarily governments, but institutions to control Bitcoin, which would be very dangerous and pretty much ruin it entirely. So that's the kind of news you should be looking for that would make you possibly get out of the crypto market. If something like that were to happen, that would be much more of a warning signal than Elon Musk tweeting Bitcoin ? Frowny face. It's like, that stuff is silly. When that affects the price, it's nonsense. All the news we've had as far as institutional investing, banks and hedge funds investing, billionaires investing. Kevin O'Leary, my guy, Mr. Wonderful, was just talking about investing in a company that essentially makes it easier for not only staking, where you can earn money on your Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, or earn not money, but interest rather. And it makes the whole tax process a lot easier. Kevin O'Leary was on CNBC this week talking about that, and it was pretty interesting because he's a guy who's been kind of skeptical about cryptocurrency in the past, and then has dipped his toe in, and now it seems like he's on board. So he invested in this company that makes it a lot easier to figure out your taxes and make sure you're not stepping in it come tax season, which can be very difficult. Taxes for crypto can be a real pain in the ass. Right now, I would think, if you don't have your CPA or really know what you're doing, it's almost impossible to figure out taxes for crypto. They are making it a little easier. I think apps now have made it a little easier, but that's something to always look for. And I guess maybe I don't say that enough. So just so you guys know, because it once you know it, it seems self-explanatory. But when you're getting into crypto, you think like, well, this isn't money, so I can't be taxed on it. So it is. I mean, it's taxed when you sell your Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever. It is taxed as income if you sell it within the first year. If you hang on to this is true of any asset. If you hang on to it for more than a year, then that whatever depends on what tax bracket you're in, but that percentage that you pay in taxes goes down. But the reason I bring this up is because it's very important to remember that on your apps, let's say you're on Coinbase, and you can trade X amount of Bitcoin for whatever the equivalent in US dollars would be of Ethereum. So, whatever that conversion rate is. But if you do that, if you trade Bitcoin for Ethereum or, Cardano for Litecoin or Uniswap for Cosmos, any of those, if you make any sort of trade like that, that is considered a sale. So just keep in mind that you're not going to have that money, obviously. So, you take one Bitcoin and convert it into 12 Ethereum or whatever it would be right now. You still have to pay taxes on that. So just be aware of that. It is technically a sale, even though you don't have the money to show for it. So just always be aware that again, that's another reason I say trading is a very dangerous game. And to me, almost not worth it. Or to me, not worth it. Not almost. To me, it's not worth it. But to some of you guys, it might be if you really know what you're doing and study up. But you are always paying taxes on any sale. So even if you reinvest, and that's true of the stock market, if you sell Penn National today and then reinvest it in Netflix tomorrow, you still have to pay taxes on that money, even though you don't physically have the money anymore. So be aware of that come tax season. And I'm trying to think of any other big news. We had some news from PayPal. I talked about this recently, how Robinhood is not necessarily a place you would want to buy crypto because you don't actually own your crypto. I guess that's true of that was true of PayPal as well. Well, now if you have Bitcoin on PayPal, you can withdraw it. So you can withdraw it into your wallet, or I believe transfer it onto other exchanges. Excuse me, and that often can allow you to earn interest. So look into doing that. If you bought your Bitcoin on PayPal and weren't really sure what to do with it, you didn't really have an option before, but now you do. So consider that. And if you're just getting in, PayPal might be the easiest way to go about it for you. So consider that. I have not used PayPal, so I can't speak to its advantages or disadvantages, but it's something to think about. Slow news day. Other than that, my 2 cents, or what I'm doing, is holding off and seeing where the market goes. I think we'll have another green day in the stock market before some possible bleakness during the summer. We'll see how that goes. And I anticipate a very big June for crypto, but we will see. I'll see you on Sunday on patreon.com/blindmike. Check that out if you want. And if you would also be so kind as to hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe, tap the notification bell. Like I said, all that is a free way to help this here YouTube channel if you want to support us. And tell a friend if you think someone should get into investing or would like to get into investing and wants some idiot to explain it to them. then I think this is your place. So tell a friend about Moron Money. And until Sunday, keep making those dollars, folks.